unit vector going in the v direction is v divided by the magnitude of v. So that's just going to be v divided by the square root of what? 0.06 squared plus 0. I don't need the negative because I'm squaring it, right? So you good with that? You're pretty good. You're pretty good with that. So you can either write it in this form or you could write it in just component form. That's fine. What is that? 36, 64. Is that just, what is that? 1.1? 0.1? What's the square? Yeah. So what does this come out to be? V divided by what? The square root of what? Point. Is it the square root of 0.1? The whole thing is 0.01 like that? So it's going to be v divided by 0.1. So what's it going to be? So the answer to this is going to be 0.6i minus k. Thank you. Okay. We good with that one? Yeah, little hats. Nice. Okay, let's do that. Okay. You do with vectors, everybody? You can do this with vectors. Commutativity holds. Doesn't matter what order you add them in. No, it doesn't matter what order you add them in.
Oh, you were asking.
Yeah, I was.
You were just saying.
Distributive. Again, alpha and beta. These are constants. These are scalars right here. So what can you do with alpha and beta? You can break them into two. So effectively, do all the rules hold that you think should hold? Yeah, there's nothing new here. This is just a direct extension land. This is direct extension land. Let's actually do a few problems though. So let's look at the component forms here. So we might have angles given in terms of their angle from the horizon or angle from the x-axis. If you have a vector v, what does v cosine theta and v sine theta represent? So v is the magnitude, by the way. And this is going to be super annoying when you see a bolded v. Do you know what that's going to represent? Bolded v is going to represent the magnitude of vector v. I don't know why they chose that as a good idea. It's terrible. It's totally garbage. Yes, it's totally garbage. Okay. So in this case, this represents the magnitude.
That's a bolded v?
It's just, yeah, it is. It is. Good luck. Okay, there it is. I know. And theta is right there. Okay, I'm just telling you what that means. Okay, v is a scalar. Okay, it's a scalar. So what does this represent? V sine theta? It's the height, right? And what does v cosine theta represent? The length, right? So vector v, what is the component form of vector v? V cosine theta, comma, v what? Sine theta. And again, these are bolded. It's that BS bolded thing. I don't know why someone thought that was a good idea. I mean, they thought it was a good idea because it's like, I can just hit Control V and it's done. I'm like, oh, no, it's terrible. Okay, so let's say I asked you this. Resolve v into components if the magnitude of v is 2 and theta is pi over 6. So without a calculator, how would you do that? How would you do that right there?
So that's 2
v,
cosine.
Yeah, it'd be what?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cosine pi divided by 6.
2 cosine pi over 6, comma.
2 sine pi
over 6. And you should remember what pi over 6 is. What is cosine of pi over 6? Root 3 over 2. And it's 2 what? What's 2 sine? So it's a half, right? So you would have what?
Square
root 3, comma 1. Does that make sense? You good with that? It's pretty good. Okay, so again, the math itself, the actual manipulation of numbers is not super complicated on these, but the setup can be a little challenging. You add it all together, and it can sometimes be really hard to wrap your head around what's going on. Once you wrap your head around what's going on, a lot of these are really, really straightforward, but they're really easy to get wildly wrong, like really, really wrong. So let's try some here. Okay, so let's look at this question right here. And I just showed it to you, so I might as well show it to you. That's fine. A plane heading due east at an airspeed of 600 kilometers an hour experiences a wind of 50 kilometers an hour blowing northeast. Find the plane's direction and ground speed. So direction, that green vector right here represents everything we want. Let's say that this was the vector v we're looking for right here, the vector v. Everybody sees that? The ground speed is the magnitude of v, right? And what's the direction? You can write it in two ways. What's one way to write the direction of the plane? You could just write it as the... You could do the degrees. You could do it in degrees, like from east if you wanted to.
Like north of east.
Like north of east. North of east, absolutely. Or you could just write the component form of the vector. You could just write the component of vector. Do that for me right now. Find all of that. Find me the magnitude. Find me the component form of the vector, and find me the degrees from east. The degrees north from east. or north of east, sorry, north. Okay, the first step is drawing a picture. The first step is drawing a picture. So if the current, first of all, is going to the west. It's from the east, so it's going to the west. So if that's the current and you're trying to go the shortest distance across from north to south, you end up wanting to go, oh, it's frozen, sorry. You end up wanting to go straight south, right? You end up wanting to go straight south. Straight south means you're not going back and we're going straight south, right? So if you want to go straight south, are you going to have to point the boat this way or this way? The first way or the second way? You're going to want to point the boat this way so that when you add them together, this is the boats, what would you call that? The boats? That's not, no, the resultant is here. This is the, and this is the ground vector, right? This is the boat's path. The boat's direction. Does everybody understand it, right? What's going on here? So if this is let's call this vector the current, whatever, and this vector W, right? Or sorry, B, right? What is B plus C? This is B plus what? C. That is B plus C. Now I've written out some of the work here. So what do you end up with? You know that the two vectors added together have to go straight down, right? So do they go side to side? Do they go side to side? Does this, if you're going straight down, is the boat going side to side, east or west? It's going straight what? It's going straight what? South. So therefore the horizontal component is what? 0. And what does it tell you about the magnitude of how fast the boat can go? 5, right? And it tells you that the vector going to the left, the current, I labeled it W with this work. So if you actually do this out algebraically, what do you end up with? 51.3 degrees east of south or 36.9 degrees south of east. There's different ways to say all of this. So this is the direction right there. So what did we get? What did you guys get for that angle measure right there? Yeah, sine inverse of 4 or 5, which is what? 53 point what? 13 degrees. Is that good? Are you okay with this? Do you understand what we just did right there? Do you understand what we just did?
Wouldn't that be 90 minus
90. Wait, isn't this? This is 5, right? It's 53 point. Isn't this wait? This angle measure is. It's 53.13 degrees. Oh, so this would be. Excuse me. So are these labeled correctly?
Yeah, those are, well, according to